The packed hearing room inside the U.S. Capitol buzzed with nervous energy. Cameras rolled, flashes popped, and every journalist in Washington seemed to be watching one woman, Representative Jasmine Crockett, a rising political star who had built her reputation on fiery speeches and unapologetic confidence. But that morning, something was different. Her hands trembled slightly as she adjusted the microphone, and across the table sat Senator John Kennedy, his trademark calm smile masking the storm he was about to unleash. The air was thick with tension. The committee was convened to discuss foreign influence in American policymaking, particularly the shocking rumors about a $312 million bribe funneled from Beijing into several U.S. development programs. Most thought the allegations were exaggerated. Most thought no one in Congress could ever be tied directly to such a scandal. But Kennedy had come prepared. He leaned forward, voice steady, polite but piercing. "Congresswoman Crockett," he began, "you've repeatedly claimed your initiatives for urban infrastructure are fully transparent. Would you care to explain this transfer?" He paused and lifted a file thick with documents, from a shell company in Macau directly into one of your campaign-linked non-profits. The room went silent. Jasmine's lips parted, but no words came out. She wasn't used to this kind of confrontation. Normally, she dominated debates with charisma and volume, but Kennedy's calm precision disarmed her completely. His southern drawl carried no anger, only facts, one after another, slicing through the silence like blades. "Senator," she stammered, "yeah, I don't know where you're getting that. My organization is clean." Kennedy raised an eyebrow and pushed the printed spreadsheet toward her. "Then you'll have no problem explaining these $312 million routed through a Hong Kong intermediary 3 weeks after your committee vote on Chinese trade relief." A gasp rippled through the audience. Reporters' fingers flew over their keyboards. The usually unflappable Crockett blinked rapidly, sweat forming on her forehead. For months, rumors had swirled about her mysterious donors, but no one expected hard evidence, and not today, not from Kennedy. What she didn't know was that he had spent weeks quietly tracing the financial trail, piecing together fragments of data with the help of independent investigators. As the questioning went on, Kennedy didn't raise his voice once. He simply laid out the facts: bank transfers, offshore accounts, corporate ties, all pointing back to Beijing's silent hand. The evidence was overwhelming. Finally, after nearly 40 minutes of intense questioning, Jasmine's voice broke. "Senator, this isn't fair," she whispered, her composure shattering. "You don't understand the pressure, the expectations." Kennedy leaned back, his tone softening. "Ma'am," he said, "we all face pressure. But pressure doesn't make us sell out our country, it reveals who we are." The line hit like thunder. Even her staffers couldn't meet her eyes. Cameras zoomed in on her shaking hands. Her political armor, so carefully built over years, had crumbled in seconds. By the time the gavel struck to adjourn, her career was in ruins. The investigation that followed confirmed what Kennedy had exposed. Foreign funds had indeed influenced her policy initiatives, but the story didn't end there. In the days that followed, Americans were glued to their screens. Some defended Jasmine, saying she was just another pawn in a larger system of corruption and greed. Others applauded Kennedy for standing firm when it would have been easier to stay silent. But Kennedy himself refused to gloat. When reporters asked how he felt about crushing a colleague, he gave a simple, humble answer. "I didn't crush anyone," he said. The truth did. Behind the political drama lay a deeper lesson. Jasmine's downfall wasn't just about greed, it was about losing sight of why she'd entered public service in the first place. She once promised to fight for ordinary Americans, but somewhere along the way, she started fighting for power instead. Weeks later, she gave a tearful resignation speech. "I thought I could balance both the good I wanted to do and the compromises I made to get there," she confessed. "But I see now that once you trade your integrity, everything else falls apart." As she stepped down, Kennedy watched from the Senate chamber balcony. There was no triumph in his eyes, only quiet resolve. He knew how fragile honesty could be in a city built on ambition. Months passed. The scandal triggered sweeping ethics reforms in campaign financing and foreign lobbying oversight. Kennedy spearheaded the legislation, ensuring no future lawmaker could hide behind loopholes the way Crockett had. The hearings that once humiliated her became the foundation of lasting change. And in one of his later speeches, Kennedy reflected on that moment. "Courage isn't about shouting the loudest," he said. "It's about standing still when everyone else is moving the wrong way. It's about saying no to the easy money, the easy praise, and the easy path. Because when the truth finally comes, it doesn't whisper, it roars." The crowd stood and applauded. In the end, Jasmine Crockett's collapse became more than a scandal, it became a warning. And John Kennedy's unwavering stand turned into a symbol of what politics could still do when principle triumphed over pressure. A powerful reminder to all who watched: truth may bend under pressure, but it never breaks, and those who stand by it will never fall.